Chodźcie tutaj, tu poprosimy. Szanowni Państwo, drodzy przyjaciele.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, now we would like to ask you for your attention actually, because we have an exceptional moment now. Let me give the microphone to the Professor Jolanta Perek-Białas, who is also the professor of Jagiellonian University. We would like to congratulate Dr. Anna Okońska-Walkowicz, who is concerned with senior policy and social policy in general. She's been doing that for many years in Krakow, so please take the microphone. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I haven't had a chance to welcome you warmly here. Yes, that's a huge honor for me that I can moderate a panel. And now, congratulations to you and to Janusz and all of you that you are here, actually. But this is also an exceptional opportunity because I need to tell you that on Thursday at 5 p.m. the World Health Organization announced a list of 50 leaders, world leaders, whose activities have been recognized as significant ones for the policy supporting, we can say in English, healthy aging, right? But in other words, matters supporting everything that relates to healthy aging. Congratulations on the previous session and the discussions that took place. And also, I would like to share my joy because Polish people that have been recognized on this list include Dr. Anna Okońska-Walkowicz, actually. She's on the list as well. So congratulations. The name is Healthy Aging 50. So healthy people at the age of 50 years of age, right? But yeah, in fact, the World Health Organization, within these activities, they created a program supporting and showing these activities related to healthy aging. And there was a lot of nominations from all over the world. If you go through this website, here I only well, you can see that here, but you can see the whole world actually. So that's why we are so proud, Anna. We are so proud, you know. You give such an example. I believe you are a role model. In the future, we'll be trying with other activities so that it is shown that in Poland, in Krakow, in collaboration with other institutions, universities, and the director that was here with Federation and all of you, I'm so moved, I'm so happy that we have managed to prepare this application in English and that it was recognized by independent WHO experts. Well, in our environment, when we announced this, it's kind of like a Nobel for us, for our activities, so it's a kind of Nobel Prize, let's say. So that was the first time it had happened, so it's a huge reward for us. So thank you so much. Yes, I wanted to say that this issue is a very hot issue because Thursday 5 p.m. today is Saturday, so we reacted very spontaneously. I know it's a short time frame, but please, everything has been said, and let me just add that we are honored that we are collaborating with Anna. We have been collaborating with her for so long, and this is a person who really deserves such title. And so we are proud, we are honored as Krakow citizens because out of this senior policy, which, let me say, my friend, our friend, but Vice President, the plenipotentiary for senior policy, she has been actually organizing them, and all Krakow citizens are taking advantage of that. So thank you, Anna, once again. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much that someone actually submitted this application, and my person actually, so thank you for your round of applause, thank you for the flowers. Well, I need to do even more. I know, I need to do even more. Thank you. And now, because we have a sort of a delay, 15-minute delay, and then we'll have another wonderful session but coffee is important at conferences. I know that. So hopefully, and thank you also you and the interpreters, because you have a significant role here. So with a huge pleasure, I'm very happy that I can moderate this panel. Modern technologies and needs of seniors. This is a huge challenge, especially when there's an idea that the aging society is not really able to fit in these trends that are being brought by technologies, and that is why we have exceptional guests here with us. The first one will be, we will have, well, unfortunately, Professor Anne Hermans cannot be here with us, but we are very happy to host Mr. Guido Dumont, the General Secretary of the EU, and I believe that this contribution which he's going to give us will be very specific, interesting, and inspiring. Then I'm very happy to introduce and to welcome the regional director of Social Policy Center in Krakow, Violeta Wilimska. I will tell you what she's going to talk about in a minute, and then we will also have the third panelists, representatives. I'm very happy that you managed to arrive. Daniel Jakimowicz, who is not only the plenipotentiary of the management board of the Polish Federation of Universities of the 30s, but also the president of the European Institute of Development, Civil Development, in the Polish Senior Forum. Let me add, because we have talked about the prize, the reward, but let me also tell you, because perhaps our international guests don't know that, but this federation has also been recognized by the international organization in Geneva, and both Krakow activities and organizational activities are recognized as good examples, role models in the whole world in terms of Madrid plan of conference, which was in a room which actually Ms. Hermans referred to. You have it also, this reference in the letter. So let me congratulate on that, because the federation is also there as a role model together with Krakow. So this collaboration is really fruitful. Guido.
And I invite you here to have your speech.
Here I am once again, replacing our president. Ladies and gentlemen, the subject of this discussion panel today is seniors and technology. I will focus more on media and information literacy. And my short introduction will be based on the publication of Professor Anne Hermans, President of the European Seniors Union, on the digital era, also my era. So, and that is a publication that she wrote on the request of the Council of Europe, and it's here available in English, in German, and in Polish. And very soon it will be also available in the Czech language. I have 3 parts in my presentation. I will try to do it in a few minutes. That is it, how the attention for digitalization grew, some aspects of the content of this publication, and then a few points of looking ahead. How it grew. COVID-19 was really a wake-up call for the vulnerable living environment of many older persons, especially in the long-term care facilities. Increased risk of infection, isolation, loneliness, etc., etc. We know it all, and we learned it, let us say, a few minutes ago. Everyone today is supposed to know how to communicate online in today's society. It became clear as never before that everyone is expected to seize the opportunities of our society digital transformation. But this principle is not possible for all people. It's now clear that the access to the internet is an essential, a public utility as electricity or water. Digital connectivity is the key to information, to learning, to teleworking, to shopping and playing, but also during periods of lockdown, to communication with loved ones, the only way to celebrate, to commemorate, to find out about health and welfare services. Did the internet, the interest of policymakers for digital inclusion of seniors started only in COVID times? No, not at all. The principle digital inclusion for all was there, but it was not implemented. And also in the European Seniors Union, we were confronted in that time that we could not meet in person and that we need video meetings. And so came also, let's say, the interest for that point of media literacy also for seniors. Try to go a little bit quicker. Then I would highlight maybe some aspects of this report of Anne Hermans. So, as I said already, she was requested, let's say, by the Council of Europe to write this report, because in the ESU we wrote, let's say, a resolution and a statement. We made also a statement on digitalization and seniors. And it was on the basis of these two publications of the ESU that the Council of Europe in Strasbourg asked her to write this report for the Council of Europe. So this report describes two megatrends and puts some questions forward. The aging of our societies is one megatrend, and the digital transformation is a second one. How can aging societies benefit from digitalization? How can digitalization strengthen aging societies? How do we organize our societies based on the respect for human rights and human dignity, so that everyone can live and grow old without discrimination? How can digitalization support active and healthy aging, improve the quality of life, help to give back independence to older people, to change the paradigm from vulnerable older persons into valuable seniors? The digital transformation can only be successful if changes address the daily concerns of people of all generations. What does this transformation mean for people? What does it mean, human-centered digitalization? These are all questions with which will be dealt in this report. And then there is, let's say, a lot of content about the media and information literacy. As well in academic and as in political and civil society service and statements, extensive research is missing. There is a great diversity among older persons, and there are only a few initiatives about media and information literacy, because media and information literacy is linked to formal education and not to non-formal education. There is a need for non-formal initiatives, and initiatives taking into account the capacities, the life story, and the needs of seniors. My third point, and I'm really running, my third point is looking ahead. The report of Anne Hermans is characterized by the relevance of the participation of seniors in policy making. In conclusion, It puts forward three basic principles on the way to active participation in a reliable, people-oriented digital society, which we hope to share with the future generation. Media and information literacy, and I will give you these 3 points, which we, let's say, for the future. Media and information literacy should be seen from the perspective of human rights. In the digital age, media literacy is a prerequisite for personal development, autonomy, participation in society. So it means that every senior should have the right to participate in this digital society and that there should not exclusion. Policies on aging, including digital learning and media and information literacy, need to be mainstreamed and involve all parts of society. These initiatives, which focus on the use of skills and competences, can be seen as a complex, lifelong learning process. It is necessary to respectfully consider the older learner and his or her life history. Everyone involved in media and information literacy with older learners is called to explore new tools and methods, both in the digital and in the real-life social field. And the third point is, and I will conclude with this, senior citizens are an integrated part of the population of the society. Also, men and women over 75 years old. We understand the society of longevity and the increasing life expectancy as a positive result of medical science and a growing healthier lifestyle. However, where are men and women aged over 75 in population service and in Eurostat statistics? The exclusion of older people plus 75 in service must be understood as discrimination, as an act of ageism. The invisibility of older people in static population service is painful fact due to the limitation of 74 years in the exclusion criteria of most service. As a result, seniors over 75 are excluded from service about digital transformation of societies, digital human capital, etc. I thank you. These were my 3 points. I thank you for my attention, and I hope that I have respected the time that I got. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And not wasting minutes, I would like to invite Violeta Wilimska for her presentation. I think that it will be really fascinating and interesting how here in the region, Małopolska, such institutions which are represented by Violeta Wilimska are doing quite a lot to change what was discussed by and presented by Guido. So how we can really support in a better adaptation for using technology in old age. Viola, the floor is yours.
So I would like to say, I speak Polish and English, but there are interpreters, so I understand that the Polish participants can understand what I'm saying, actually. I'm really sorry, the interpreters, for that. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for this introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, let me congratulate the organizers of this meeting. So wonderful guests. It's really nice when we are visited by so wonderful people from whom we can learn a lot, with whom we can spend our time, because it's true that by shaping any social policies, any programs that are to support specific social groups, the most important is the context, and the key thing is information exchange. Ladies and gentlemen, I represent the Małopolska local government, because remember, in Poland we have the commune local government, powiat local government, and voivodeship local government. So what is the role of voivodeship local government? Well, first of all, to analyze, to diagnose, to set challenges, to plan activities that are going to be included in a regional policy. These are so-called checklist plans, what we should do in a specific time frame for specific groups. We are looking for money, of course. We operationalize these assumptions, and through that we give opportunities to other territorial or organizations or NGOs for financing these tasks in accordance with our action plan. Ladies and gentlemen, just for a second, let me stop here, because in many speeches of the other speakers, they referred actually to mega trends, right? Well, this is a very good context, to be honest. Let me refer to a map of megatrends from 2021 prepared by the team by Natalia Hakalska. And ladies and gentlemen, yes, that's the fact. Among these megatrends, we can see a crisis, a health crisis. We can see demographic changes. We can see transition, climate transformation. We can see mirror world, where this so-called of like a screen world equalizes this real world, right? So it's kind of like a mirror. So the progress in civilization, absolute understanding of what is in social media and online world is going on actually. And a few times the other speakers have referred to the cause of accelerating us on this path, which is the COVID-19 pandemic. That's correct. And it's also the attempt to cope with this human communication using technology, online technology. I'm very sorry. At the very beginning, I wanted to tell you that behind my back there is a presentation that you can see. It's a kind of like slides that will be shown one by one. I don't have so much time to describe all of these slides, describe all these innovations. So I prepared a kind of like a background, so you can have a look at that while I'm speaking to you, okay? And let me just make this presentation a very short one. So just coming back to these trends, well, apart from the scope, these challenges that are ahead of us, we also have this kind of like time frame scopes, when it is going to happen. So for a second, let me focus on the so-called new normality. This is a trend which is a leading one. So what can we discover here? Well, in the mega trend related to demographic changes and in health crisis and in the lack of social cohesion, we can see so many times a trend which is really up to date, which is actually loneliness. Okay, this is this new leading trend: polarization, loneliness, or inequality, digital inequality. I draw your attention to that because just some data for you. The Eurostat statistics shows that in Poland last year, as much as 53% of people between 65 and 4 years of age had never had contact with internet. This is quite big number, right? And a bad result. But the national economic institutions, senior institutions, they made a study where they asked, why do seniors use internet for? What they use internet for? And quite positive information. Well, young people use usually the first line, let's say, they use this internet for watching movies, listening to music, And in terms of seniors, it turned out that they use internet, they need it for more useful items. Well, they search for different products, information about these products, they verify opinions, but also we found information that they also use it well, they somehow feel lost in this space and they need to look for support in this respect. So, ladies and gentlemen, I told you that the matter of stat analysis is really crucial. Let me also refer to some other data, which, when talking about technology and the need of adapting it to the senior policy, well, let me tell you something more. Please imagine that every 3 Poles over 75 years of age live alone. 42% of people over 85 years of age are diagnosed or say subjectively that they are affected by depression. Well, being a widow regards mainly women, right? So another context, 15% of people from Małopolska are taking care of dependent people. So what about the social policy then? Well, for us in Małopolska region, a key are 3 issues in shaping this social policy. The first one concerns the fact we are different, right? And we should not say no to that. We are different. We have different needs. We have different backgrounds, different upbringings, different habits and possibilities. The other thing is, it is key. We need to become autonomous as long as possible. We need to be independent as long as possible. We need to be active as long as possible. We need to keep these people who want to be independent, autonomous. And the third condition, key important to shape the social policy, which is to translate into a well-being of specific social groups, is actually the role that we define for ourselves at specific moments of our life. What do I mean? Well, just saying in simple words, this is the feeling of being needed, I want to feel that I'm needed, that someone will need me. What causes us to want to get up? Why do we get up? Why do we take on others' challenges? Why do we take on new roles? Because we feel that someone else needs us, right? But this is changing. But this activates us, this motivates us. So the integral part of social policy is senior policy and our Małopolska senior policy. Here we also have 3 key issues. Well, first of all, we negated this willingness or the need of some clerks, because I'm also a clerk, to create policies at the desk. Because in Małopolska, social policy is being created with seniors, along with them, because these are them who know their needs, these are them who experience different challenges on a daily basis. What's more, the thing which seems to be obvious, but oftentimes when I'm at different meetings, surprise me. Well, the seniors are not a monolith. They are not just one group which is identical. Because seniors in Polish law are defined as a group of 60 plus, which means that in a group of 60 plus, apart from the fact that I will, let's say, assume that we are different, we are different, but we also have different age groups. We have 60 plus, 70 plus, 80 plus, right? I don't have the right to prepare or to think about one idea for a service, for a product, which would be adequate for the needs of a monolith of people, elderly people. No. And ladies and gentlemen, the third important thing, despite we're talking about technology, I'm going to come back to this technology, of course, in a moment. For me, an important matter is the relationship, connections, and emotions. Well, this elderly group is not an autonomous island. I'm sorry. It is. If you are not even an archipelago or endemic mountains, you are an integral part of this continent as children, teenagers, elderly people? Well, this is a network of relationships, connections, and mutuality. This is a key thing for me. So we need ourselves, okay? So in this relationship, let's be cautious and think what we need and how to plan these policies. Well, just to say more briefly, just key challenges that we are dealing with. Well, our conditions that for us from the level of Polska region are most important in terms of senior policy. Well, taking into consideration the trend map, and this current situation, the key challenge here is to ensure access to high-quality services, health services, and care services. In Małopolska region, we are quite lucky because in the group of seniors, which is like over 800,000 people, the biggest group in this area constitutes youngest people, 60 plus, 64. This trend will be changing in several years. Probably the aging will be faster and we'll have a bigger group of over 60 years of age, so this challenge will be even bigger. So access to services and high quality services, health service and social service. Well, to make these people active, to ensure that they are active, physically active, but also mentally active, in improvement in education. In education, where we also think about digital literacy. Another thing, care services or health services should be prepared and be organized in a individualized manner. So we want to keep these people, elderly people, in a daily life active. We don't want to refer them to a 24-hour center, right, for care. No, we want them to stay active as long as possible. And in our Polish region, we are not afraid of risks, of hazards. So this social incubation idea was created 6 years ago. What is social innovation? Well, this is a new service. This is a product, custom-made product, in accordance with the needs of an applicant. So in our center, we managed to get money from the European Fund, and we invited for collaboration some NGOs, individuals, territorial organizations, businesses as well, which directly and also on a daily basis work with different groups of people who require support. Why? Because we wanted them to design or create an idea for a given service. We launched grants as well for such entities to test this idea that they had, and then we invited groups that these ideas were dedicated to, so that they could evaluate and see how this product works and if it works actually. And what's most important for us in terms of social innovation was the fact that we wanted to be, let's say, to be true to ourselves, right? Because this is the human being and its diversity that is important. And social innovation in the process that we are dealing with, this is the human being who has several functions, roles. This is him or her who inspires. This is a human being who gives us the idea for a given innovation. This is a human being who creates this, because this is a person who is the closest to the problem, right? This is the person who creates this problem and creates a solution. This is the person who actually tests, and he or she decides if it makes sense. Yeah, I think that it's easier to show that on examples. We shared in this presentation, well, I showed you 3 parts, 3 divisions. Actually, you saw health, you saw security, safety, and you also saw social inclusion. So let me stop with one of this innovation, InnoTextile. Well, what would you say if we had intelligent clothing which has microsensors that allow us for home rehabilitation? Well, before this panel, we could hear speakers talking about health. Yes, this healthcare system requires constant reorganization. Yes, we have difficult access. True, correct. So let's take this issue into our hands. So we produced intelligent trousers that, of course, which were tested. What is it about? Well, on a given device, for example, smartphone, we install application, and this micro sensors that are in the trousers, I put that on, and really they are very comfortable. They are comfortable. You can't feel any cables. And these micro sensors, what they do? Well, our movements are monitored by them, and so we are, let's say, at our GP, yes, or a specialist after a broken arm, and he says, well, please, 4 times a week, 20 minutes, please do these movements, right? I'm just, let's say, try to do these flexions. Well, when I leave my doctor, I remember about these instructions, but after some time, I don't know if I do it correctly, right? So, and another visit at a physiotherapist is within 3 times a week. And this device will register what I do and tells me, okay, correct this movement because it is wrong, right? Of course, my GP, my doctor has this information and they can see if I'm doing it right. Oh, my time is coming to an end, so let me tell you just 2 more things, 2 more applications that show that technology makes sense, but it must be designed, let's say, cleverly, right? Here we have a sort of a boulometer, which is a pain meter. It was created by a person who she was an oncological patient, and one of her problems was that she had pain, right? She had pain, and so we made an application which is very intuitive for such an elderly person who is suffering from some disease, and it allows this person to subjectively verify how big this pain is actually. So it also gives you the result when you can take a painkiller, right? If this level of pain is really high, then it tells you, yeah, you can take a painkiller now, for example. Yeah, the application will tell you that. And then this application registers the level of pain because you tick. It's moderate pain, big pain, low pain. So it's actually your decision what you mark. But it also registers the time of this pain, right? So at another appointment with your doctor is not talking about, the beginning, what happened. Well, it seems that it is painful. I feel pain once per week in a scale. I don't remember. No, the doctor opens this application and sees how often, how much it hurts. And the application has also a set of medications that this person is actually taking. And one more application, sorry, a guardian. Why I have to tell you about this guardian? Well, this is a moment for us that our social innovations and ideas are created for given groups. But during testing, it turns out that another group can also use that. So what is a guardian? Well, this is an application on a smartwatch, perhaps also maybe on smartphone, which was designed for deaf people or hearing impaired people who actually use hotels, right? They sleep there, and so they get, let's say there's a fire alarm. Everyone is living, right? But they don't because they cannot hear. So who knows that they cannot hear? No, they are in their room. They stay there. So this application, in a moment of certain sound intention, right? Intense. It is kind of like an algorithm, artificial intelligence. It gives you signals, physical signals, to a person that is waking up, and this is a signal for the person that she can leave now the room. When we were testing this application, a lot of people, seniors, were interested in it. Why? Not because they could not hear. No, it's because they may not hear correctly, but mainly because that somehow builds their feeling of belonging. You don't have to go and take them. You don't have to take them somewhere. No, they are more independent because they will be in the corridor at the same time as everyone else when there's an alarm. No, it builds my, kind of confidence level, my self-esteem, my belonging, right? So this balance between strong technology, which is designed, and relationships, emotions, and understanding of people as a full human being, full creature, of course, they will try to adapt to these technologies, but please don't lose myself, right, and who we are. Thank you very much for your attention.
Że pani dyrektor będzie mnie lubiała i będziemy współpracować, że musiałam taka być tutaj, no niestety okrutna.
I hope the director will know, but the truth is cruel, but that is the cruel role of the moderator. But you see that we have a lot of what we want to convey, and we don't have enough time. We never have enough time. So once again, thank you very much, and I give the floor now to Mr. Daniel. Also, I believe that we will manage to start another session at 1:45 in order to be able to calmly use also the dinner break, which is also very important. So, Mr. Daniel, the floor is yours. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Professor. I was just joking that I have foreseen a bit the situation. I have only one slide, so I'm going to speak really short, I hope. I hope that interestingly, but I will try to, I put it, this task which is ahead of me to perform and the time that is at my disposal. Thank you very much for the possibility to meet here together with you in the room with the participants of this panel. I would like to, on behalf of the Polish Federation of Associations of the University of Third Age, which is the plenipotentiary of which I am, to share with you an example of a good practice, which when I have heard these presentations of the previous speakers, I believe it is perfectly fits the postulates which are formulated in them. So at the same time, it combines two very significant practical elements and needs, challenges for today's time. So the need to participate, I mean to make common among the elderly leaders of seniorship organizations above all, because they are most important for us from the point of view of the targets that the Federation is facing, to spread the need for taking the floor, speaking aloud in public matters, important matters that are important for seniors, for senior organizations and their functioning in this society that's getting old, and combining this element of participation with another very important postulate, I mean this element of technological elements, so using for this participation formula also the internet. So this modern and most common, I believe, technology today. What I'm thinking of today, I'm thinking of this is the title of my speech, framework speech, Polish Senior Forum. A Polish Senior Forum established in September 2019, so it's got some history already behind it, out of the initiative of the Federation. So the agreement of senior organizations understood broadly, so ones which operate for seniors, operate with seniors, not only universities of third age, because this notion of senior organization is much more broad. An understanding among which we have suggested senior organizations to the signatories of this agreement the possibility to participate in the process of consulting projects, opinions, and recommendations, applications, and other positions, substantive positions, formulated by the Federation on matters that are significant for seniors and senior organizations. So it was important for us to, briefly speaking, so that the voice which is resounding from the Federation, the voice at the level of the legal opinions for drafts of acts, drafts of resolutions, referring to broadly understood senior matters, to be so that the voice of the Federation recommending certain solutions in the scope, so that the voice of the Federation in the area of formulating certain conclusions, for example, for senior strategies at the governmental level, at the regional level, also voivodeship, so that this voice is stronger, so that it's heard better, so that it's more broadly acknowledged, so that it's not just the voice of one senior organization. I can even say so that it's not just received as just a group of people in some town have invented some idea, some conclusion, and want to lobby on that. It's a voice that is more senior organizations. So this understanding, this agreement, a platform for collaboration of senior organizations, that's what it needs to be called, has been playing this role since September 2019. In the beginning, it was just a group of several organizations, senior organizations that have joined us. For this moment, because today I've been checking it, we've got 165 signatories of this agreement, so I believe it's a significant number. These are not just members of the Federation, formal members. These are not just members, not all of the signatories of this understanding of this agreement, participants of this agreement, are members of our Federation. We are open to any organization, senior organizations that for which it is important to senior matters are important simply in Poland. So it's a number which is quite significant. And all the signatories of this understanding have the possibility to, on a current basis, systematically take the floor, participate in consulting various types of projects, substantive projects, opinions, positions formulated by experts of the Federation. In 3 points, just a few words, I would like to say that how this system, what it looks like, where this IT technological system is present, is located. So, in the first stage, ladies and gentlemen, the experts of the Federation have to formulate some stands, substantive stands, opinions for the projects of drafts, projects of regulations, conclusions for a strategy, for the development, let's say regional strategy, in the area, of course, of senior matters. All this focuses on these matters, and recommendation of some good practice that we have noticed somewhere, and it's important for us to make it popular in Poland so that it's some broader context located in various kinds of documents. On our own, we find these topics, we search for topics which we believe are significant and needed in order to take the floor to speak about them. But also more frequently, we are asked to express such an opinion by the ministries, by central offices, also by local governments. We are noticed as a partner for taking the floor in these matters. And of course, we try to, these opinions, these positions, these projects, we try to formulate them in a clear, communicative way, with a language that is favorable for the recipient. It's not just hermetic legal language, but these documents are written in normal, regular language so that everybody can understand the essence of this message. In the second stage, a project prepared this way is then published on a website, which I have displayed here, www.forumseniorów.pl. It's a website managed by the Federation, and it is devoted only to one purpose, namely so that has to enable in a remote way to all the signatories of this understanding taking the floor in the scope of this opinion prepared by us, application, position. It is based on the fact that when such a draft we prepare, we put it on this website, we publish it there, and all the signatories, 165, get automatic email with a notification about this on the website Forum Seniorów. There is a new draft of a document, please provide your opinion, log in and express your opinion. For example, within 7 days, 10 days, depending on how urgent the matter is. And the voting system is open. The participant can log in at any moment, read it, and in the end unclick. I am in favor of this position, or I am not in favor of. There are really very few votes against. Or I've got comments. There's also an option to report some comments, some hints, because we do not consider ourselves as knowledgeable of all. And then click send. Within 7-10 days, all this comes back to us, and the final position is edited. It is signed by I mean by the Federation, so formally by Ms. President Wiesława Borczyk, by the plenipotentiaries of the board, because somebody has to sign it, and it's addressed to the ministries, to the ministers, to the Prime Minister, to the Parliament, Polish Parliament, to the central offices of various kinds, but also at the regional level. So to voivodeships, provinces, local governments, but also to voivodes, because they also have a to say here. Voivodes, I mean representatives of governmental administration in the voivodeship, in the province. So hoping that it will be read, it will be analyzed. I see that my time is over, but I just have to take 1 more minute so that there is some conclusion of what I was saying. So here, dear ladies and gentlemen, what I wanted to say is that it's an important thing, because in all these positions, always the Federation uses a formula which is of key importance, namely, in the end of a position, always the conclusion is that the Poland-wide Federation of Associations of Third Age Universities, after consulting the Polish Forum of Seniors, recommends, applies, provides an opinion, positively or negatively, opinions positively, but with some remarks, comments, in order to underline this element of participation, so that it's not only our voice of a few people in the Federation, but there is the voice of a broader group of our signatories. And I'll put it this way, time won't allow me to develop what I would like to say in more detail, but it functions, has been functioning for several years. We've got more and more participants of this system, and more frequently we get answers from the addressees of these documents, sometimes just by courtesy, sometimes just out of courtesy, in order not to say, but there are more and more also substantive answers, so somebody really devotes time to our conclusions, thinks them over, tries to refer to them somehow substantively. It's an action which I'm sure, the one which we have initiated, action which is long-term action. Its aim is the philosophy of a drop that goes through a rock. A drop can drill a rock. That's our philosophy. And thanks to us, I hope more and more people will find out about this. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for this speech. And I hope that once again you will invite me to be a moderator. I'm trying to be a good one to the events that are organized. We don't have time for the discussion now, but that's why I know that there is one more session. And I would like to really respect and appreciate all the participants. In the end, I'll just add, because here it was mentioned that this publication of this is in Polish and English. It's worth to, I have to say, we had here foreign guests at the university, and I think that a lot of people, even scientists, don't know that such publications are available. So the more meetings like this, the more we can learn. What can I say? Ms. Director, fantastic innovations. We're happy that we can support them and develop them. And Mr. Daniel, I can say only that the university always could use a lot of your systems, really. So I would say immediately that we also have a slightly different system, and the one you presented shows that new technologies can be helpful, can support, and not necessarily are the evil that discriminates or excludes, because that was very important in the first speech. So now I want to give the floor. Thank you, participants, and want to invite 1 minute for technical change so that the second panel can get prepared, but just 2 minutes we stole from the second panel, so thank you very much, and I wish you all the best.
Szanowni Państwo, przypadł mi zaszczyt poprowadzenia.
Gentlemen, I have the honor to introduce the subsequent guests. In the panel we'll speak about sport, about very good examples from sports life seniors, and to this panel I want to invite Ms. Lena Jaskalainen from Finland. Lena? Gentlemen, I also want to invite Ms. Krystyna Mencik from the University of Third Age from UAS, member of the board also, General Polish Federation of Associations and University of Third Age, and also Mr. Marek Szarwalski from Rabka, from the University of Third Age in Rabka. Ladies and gentlemen, one more brief comment and information, brief piece of information referring to this paper, this work. We didn't have the celebration present in Poland yet because I have received it in print. I have organized the print of the translation. It was available only on Wednesday, so that we all have it ready for today. Please use it, and it's at your disposal. There are more copies, so yeah.
Wir kriegen das.
Dann ist das vollkommen ist gut genug, dass
Ja,
er
ja,
das ganz
ja.
offen sagen kann.
Aber wir haben dann Zeit bei den Fragen. Bitte. Danke, danke, danke. Jest uwaga.
So there is a comment, very specific, that a little too dense the material is. We don't have too much time for asking questions, but the questions, there will be a part for questions starting from 3:15. There will also be time for discussion. Please excuse us, but briefly, it's not impossible to present everything briefly in a short time. Now I will move on to our dear guests. I feel honored that I can welcome such fantastic guests who work for sport with seniors. So we start with Ms. Lena Jaskalainen, who is the Vice President of the European Union of Seniors. Also in Finland, she works in the educational system and in her group, senior group. And very special piece of information, Ms. Lena is also, you all know Nordic walking, right? So if it wasn't for Ms. Lena Jaskalainen, we would know Nordic walking. It's thanks to her that we know it. So since 1966, she introduced this system to functioning, and the whole world knows Nordic walking, right? So, Lena, the floor is yours.
Inviting me to this Congress. I noticed this morning that aging has come. I have something in my neck. And one thing I'm worried, not now of the inability of the old ones, but inability of the young ones, of that electric scooters they use. Scooters should be denied, or at least take the electric away. Because if the young ones use that all the time, they have no normal physical activity. And after 40, 50, 60 years, it will be a catastrophe. But Janus asked me to tell one story, how I created the Nordic walking. I did that uphill training with poles when I was training for cross country years 1956, 84. And that training method is still used among the cross-country skiers, still. But I noticed how effective it was, and I thought that would it be also suitable also for the other persons. After graduating my PE teacher, at Helsinki University, I got the job at secondary school. Already I took that, we called it sauvakävely. It was that Nordic walking English version was not at yet that time used. And there were 4 PE teachers, but we had only one room indoors. So 2 of us had to go out of doors with the pupils. And then I tried that Nordic walking sauvakävely with students, and I was astonished. They really liked it. And after that job at the secondary school, I became a professor at the Faculty of Physical and Health Education in Jyväskylä. And therefore, I had opportunity to teach Nordic walking for the PE students. But the best platform to spread Nordic walking was my position at the National Board of General Education. It was years 1973 and 91. I was the senior advisor, chief inspector for girls' physical and health education in all the schools in Finland. During that time, I did co-work with many national sport associations, and with two of them we published a book for school clubs, and there was some techniques and tactics also of Nordic walking, a little bit piece. But you will get that paper later. You see the pictures also there. The ski poles in those pictures, they were too long because they were used for skiing, Nordic skiing. And at that time we had not the normal Nordic walking poles yet. And it was 1967. Our national TV, Yle, we had a program about 15 minutes about the Nordic walking. And I had lots of pupils to show it. And it was so easy because the children in winter, they ski. They got the idea at once. We need not to teach them Nordic walking at all. But my first public appearance for Nordic walking was in Tampere, 1967, where Suomen Latu Association organized the first ever Finland walking event. But I was the only one among 3,000 participants who used ski poles. You can imagine the faces of the other participants started staring me. They asked, "Where are your skis? Did you forget your skis at home?" But I was walking with that 36 kilometers road with the managing director of Suomen Latu, and also with the president of the Orienteering Association. And I gave them during we walking and try this show and find what is the difference to only to walk and to do walking with poles. And when that director of Suomen Latu, I was talking with him and said, "Your organization is the one who could deliver this to a public also." And they took it to their program, and also they got one factory of fun organization to event to find and to build the Nordic walking poles. And after that, it was the starting of the Nordic walking area. And at time it is said, there were two PE teachers who took this idea abroad, and they had also a good book first in Italy. And nowadays it's said that there is 1.5 million people walking in Europe. It could be more. But what is good if we think about the Nordic walking, it's good for the top skiers and although the old ones. And it is quite easy to learn and also to test different places. go uphill, downhill, to go to the woods. But best is to go to the places where the base is flexible, and that is more important if you use that bumpsy pump poles, which Janus has sold. Bumpsy pump poles are there that the poles are going up and down, and it's good training for the hands too. You can't use it in winter because when it's slippery. But that is the story how that Nordic walking started, and it's going to deliver everywhere. Thank you.
Myślę, szanowni państwo, że historia
I believe that the story that we've heard, how Nordic walking was created, for us all was interesting, because from the idea to the industry, it's often a very long path. So thank you, Elena. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the pleasure to present now another speaker in this panel, Ms. Krystyna Męcik, a person who for 14 years has been organizing senior Olympic Games, International Olympic Games, also many participants. Please tell us where did this idea come? How did it happen? Thank you very much, and I want to welcome everyone very warmly. We know that during today's conference, physical activity, I would say psychophysical activity is the best prescription, best recipe for a long life, especially in the scope of physical ability. We have research proving that non-medicine will replace physical activity, of course, under the supervision of instructors, family, and also doctors, because doctors also ensure that we can practice sport safely. So it happened that 14 years ago, because I was giving lectures in third-age universities, I noticed that there is a lot of physical activity there, but we don't have enough instructors, we don't have programs, we don't have support. I thought that it would be good to have a first Olympic Games of seniors. My colleague, of course, thank you very much, they're here. I want to thank Ms. Wiesia Borczyk, the General Polish Federation, who accepted that such physical activity to be available. First of all, universities of third age started actively participating, and later on also other senior organizations, because they also want to be active here. I would now move on to the film, because this film will show us what this activity was like, and I had the pleasure to participate in such a conference organized by the UN in Katowice, where there were 10,000 people, 340 organizations from the whole world, and inter alia there was a round table. I had the possibility to discuss with Minister Stanisław Szwed, with Ms. Helena Hrabkiewicz, discuss what is going on in Poland among third-age universities, but this meant above all activity, but also how universities of third age, how senior organizations supported in peace, because universities have during the Olympic Games, universities have joined with Ukraine, with Austria, with Ukraine, with Italy. We had the opportunity to practice together and to prepare together. And the war which emerged in Ukraine resulted in the fact that now we also, as seniors, we can provide help. So this sports activity has combined us, joined us. And also during what happened, we were able, both the Polish White Federation, but also all the universities of third age, as far as we can, we were sending gifts and programs. I believe that now we can see this activity in the film. This is the last one, and I asked for the previous one, yeah. Here we can see a historical film, one of the first films. It takes place in Łazy. We called it a small Olympic village of the seniors. Here we can see intergenerational integration, because it's our children, there's nothing better than integration between. We've got seniors of various age here, from 50 to 90 years. The first Olympic Games took place, of course, seniors have delivered the flame from Greece. The seniors have lit the Olympic spirit through this flame. Please watch this film, see what's happening, because this year we had the 14th Olympic Games. These were the first Olympic Games. These are emotions, pure, beautiful emotions. During the first Olympic Games, our inhabitant, 90-year-old Joseph, lit the Olympic flame. This year he died, but he lit the spirit also through lighting this Olympic game flame. So it was shown in the video also. During the Olympic Games, we've got disciplines such as athletics, runs. Here we see we were stopped by the pandemic in a small locality. We couldn't arrange the Olympic Games, but the seniors of whole Poland and Europe practiced how to revoke an Olympic Games. Olympic Games have to take place every year, because seniors don't have time to wait, and it takes place every year. The pandemic stopped, so the Marshal of the Silesian Voivodeship proposed a stadium at the National Athletic Stadium. There was the 11th Olympic Games. Here we can see the 11th Olympic Games in the stadium. I'm happy that we have seniors in the stadium. This energy, this approach, joy of life is a fantastic element of this event. Run 50. 60, 150, pushing the ball, canoes, bikes, also playing cards, table tennis, chess, activity. Playing chess and cards is also prophylaxis against dementia or Alzheimer's. So these activities were also taking place actively, these exercises. Here we have the disciplines, pushing the ball, swimming, archery, table tennis. I think it's shown bicycling. And also it's beautiful that during the whole year, seniors practice with their families, with grandchildren, like a grandmother can obtain her swimmer's license together with her grandson. And then a kid goes to kindergarten and shows photos showing that together with his grandmother he participated in the Olympic Games. So we are writing history, creating history, because still we can do it. Still we can also invite our grandchildren to this sports activity through Olympic Games. We promote new disciplines. Here, as Mr. Janusz underlined, now we are promoting a new discipline. Seniors like novelties, so during the Olympic Games we always have a conference. We can share both from the point of view of medicine, also philosophy of life of seniors. That's how our conferences are organized. It's also some mini gym. We can also practice at home while watching a TV series. The seniors are also happy because such novelties we show during such meetings. The film is very loud and I cannot hear the speaker. The translator cannot hear the speaker, the film is too loud. Also on the first day we have artistic presentation of seniors, both sports persons, senior organizations present their culture. And earlier our colleagues prepared such Olympic exercises. We have Krysia, colleagues from other cities. Before starting they organize a local Olympic Games preparations, and then the best players, best athletes go to the Olympic Games. This year we had a visitor from Greece. She lit our torch together with the eldest Olympic game player, who is 92 years old and swims. In the age of 70, when he was 70, 22 years ago, the doctors told him he would soon die. But thanks to this activity, he still lives and is really active. So sport releases in us new targets in life. I will be a sports person. The eldest person was 94 years old. His daughter asked, "My dad dreams of being an Olympic player," so she bought for him shoes, a shirt, and he started. Why not fulfill your dreams until you can? We live until we fulfill our dreams, and these endorphins are produced. Joy, integration, peace. Because the film is too loud and it's hard, the translator cannot hear the speaker fully. Here we have also an intergenerational run, an intergenerational relay. We see grandparents providing with their grandchildren. Here is the Madame from Grazia, Skella, lighting the Olympic torch. Something beautiful that this torch is this Olympic spirit of seniors. We've got our Olympic anthem also. We've got also an Olympic anthem of ours. It's a beautiful anthem. Thank you. If you have any questions, I will be happy to answer them. Families are engaged, fans are engaged. I want to invite everyone to the 15th International Olympic Games we're going to hold next year in the National Athletics Stadium in Silesia. We shall combine it. We're going to have also the possibility to extend this tourism, because our tourism in that area it's not far from here. It's close to here. Already today we want to invite all the seniors from Europe, all the participants to this conference, please be invited to come next year to our Olympic Games. It's not far from here. I have met within time. Thank you very much for this speaking.
I believe that you all like concrete actions by seniors in sport, right? But we have another example of sport activities, especially winter actual activities. So Mr. Marek Szarawarski, he's been organizing for many years such an Olympic Games in winter time. It's called Spartakiada, winter one. Good afternoon. Let me speak very fast because time is running after me, and lunch actually. Hopefully I can win with the time. So in 1996, Rabka achieved the title a city of the world by UNESCO, and our center is located in the south part of Poland, and since 2014 it has been a national place where we organize the so-called senior rights. It was a hard work to organize that because our ladies had certain doubts in terms of financing, equipment and personnel, but we managed to convince them, and eventually our Rabka University is an organizer of senior rights. We established an organizing committee which is concerned with the logistics of this event. The most important tasks of the committee are the contact with our honorable and media patronages, gaining financing, collaboration with our partners, reservations, security of the facilities, and of course documents and promotions. The basic documents are the agenda, general regulations, and specific disciplinary regulations, messages, communications that are prepared before, during, and after the event, starting lists, the results. Our honorary patronate is the mayor of the Rabka Zdrój, the starosta of Tarnopolskie Powiat, and Misia Borczyk, who is here in terms of finances. She's helping us, and she's doing it. It is done by our Małopolska Voivodeship. Our partners are the institutions, for example, associations, individuals that support us financially, organizationally, and materially. Media patronage, well, this includes local newspapers, websites, and cable TV. And here, a lot of money, one that was mentioned by one of our speakers. This is not for us. We have sponsors, and I mentioned them. They give us money for this event in Polish zloty. So each zloty, we look at that, we analyze each zloty before we spend it. And an interesting fact, our foundators actually give us around 150,000, and this green bars shows us inflows from volunteers, and this money from volunteering work and facilities, well, it's 10 times actually more if we calculate that into money. Each organizer concerns safety as the most important thing. For us, it's communication, which is provided by local guard and police and firefighting station. Medical security, it's local hospital, group, firefighters, and students from nursing department. Only the hospital takes money for their service. The other ones work voluntarily. Of course, we use students who play a role of caregivers, guiders, moderators, and they also give awards. They what else? Other people who help us are also partners. And what they do it for a cup of hot tea, and some sausage, rolls. Next year we hope to add also a bowl of rice. So that's our remuneration actually for them. Well, what is the date of senior rights? It's always the first Monday and first Tuesday after winter break, because then it's safer, there's no crowds on slopes and on ice rinks. So the first day is an integration day, and during this day we try to provide our guests with different attractions. Some of them I'm going to show you actually. Professional cinema that we are proud of. This cinema was a place of presenting, learn about the history of Rabka, and there was also a special children bands, regional bands, Majeranki. Both events were warmly welcomed actually by our seniors. Well, in 2018, we managed to organize balloon flights, and despite the wind that was blowing quite far, over 10 people managed to use this balloon and actually fly with it, and happily came back. So, of course, we were scared a little bit, but everything was successful. Another example is theater, the doll theater called Rabcio. I think it's the best in Poland or even in Europe. It gave us, it had a show. What I tell you, I will tell you. These are the actors of this show, this performance, and this is the audience in the old theater who were giving them a round of applause. But we had also standing ovation then. And in 2020, our Nowotarski Powiat built this facility. It is a doll theater Rabcio, a very modern theater. And in this room, our guests in 2010 are going to sit in a conference that is going to serve to our senior rights. Well, I have to say that we have also meetings, like evening meetings, integration meetings. This is a huge attraction among our seniors. We have met in 2 restaurants, Victoria and Spytkowice, Przystań Kabanosa. So in this room in 2019, there were 416 seniors who had fun there. These meetings in restaurants are finished at around 10 p.m. Well, I don't know what happens after that, but then we have a sport day. We started quite early. It's an integration day, ends quite early. So let me say that we have been doing it for 9 years, so hopefully we'll do it once again. So we are hosting all the guests, and during this event it is possible to give information about their teams, about their plans, about their achievements as well. And this year was exceptional, but also sad because of the war. We could not welcome Ukrainians who had also been our guests for some time. Of course, we have we are in touch with some Ukrainian organizations, but unfortunately they couldn't come. On the slopes we had flowers for them, and they were in colors of Ukrainian flag. We also collected money for starting packages for sportsmen from Ukraine who came to us, and they are waiting for them, and hopefully they will come. They will be able to come. And this is a moment which I believe is the most important one. This is a fire. This is a torch which is being lit here. An Olympic torch, which is usually done by six people, 3 people, students, sports people from the secondary school in Rabka, and our marathons. And of course, they always say which number it is, and so forth. And they have this catchphrase that they use before we start. And then we have different disciplines. Well, we are very happy with that, and we have different age groups. We organize these age groups every 5 years. So as you can see, we have different age groups. And what about disciplines? Well, in 2019, we had 8 disciplines, and you have here the number of participants. The most popular was Gigant Run, as you can see here, and the smallest number was in chess discipline. So here you can see the slope, the first discipline, a very safe place. You can see they are waiting here for the start. The slope is in a very good condition, so they can use it very safely. And this is almost the finish line. And now this is sort of tire slope. So they are using this kind of tires. This is a very fun activity. Then we have runs. This is a discipline that always make us scared because we're afraid if there will be snow, but we managed to find a good shadowed place on our local stadium. We add some snow there, and we have enough snow, so this discipline can be there, can be done there. And then we have shots. Well, here we are waiting for snowballs, but we are shooting snowballs. We are not shooting snowballs, but we are using tennis balls. So don't need snow for that. And then we have curling. Well, this is our own discipline, which combines 2 bowling, right, kind of, and we have curling stones. These are ours. They are smaller, they are lighter, and they are let's say they don't cost any money. And then we have chess games, as you can see here. We also have Nordic walking. It's a very important discipline here in competition. Here you can see some photos from this event when it was made online, actually, in 2021, and you have some transmissions here, broadcasting. So if this event takes place in our location, plus we add some knowledge about our place, so each team needs to prepare a catchphrase that will promote Rabka, our location. Let me show you these catchphrases. Why sea or Mazury? No, in winter you should come to Rabka, which is the miracle of nature, right? And another catchphrase, which is close to our heart. Rabka is not only children, but also third age, right? So there are these 2 catchphrases that were created by our teams, by our participants. I did not expect that. So after each competition, we have to announce results. We did not have any protests, so then we give awards and brown medals, of course. And I want to tell you that at each senior rights and at each event for each participant, we have a souvenir medal, and they also get a gift. This year, it was a wonderful gift. If we have time in our discussion, I'll tell you why. Each competitor received a vase with their number, and they can take it home. So yeah, it has different functions. And then we have classification, team classification. We're very proud of that because each competitor will get 1 point for their team. So, for example, if the number of universities is 29, then the number of points for first place is 30, for the second place 28, for third 27, and for 29th 1 point, 1 score. That's how it looked. This year, Kent was the first place. But we also had people from Vienna, for example. And now the finish line. Well, we are waiting for the results in our theater. There are 3 cheerleaders. There were cheerleaders that had performance, and then we had music played. I believe that this music causes people to dance, of course. And here you can see the statues with our logo prepared for all the universities, similarly as some gifts that we prepare as well. They are given by founders and vape people. And yeah, the Voice of Senior funds 3 prizes for the youngest and for the oldest, actually. So this year we have a lady 84 and the guy is 85, and a photo together. And here you have the number of competitors that applied in particular years. Apart from competitors, we also have the same number of fans, of supporters. So in 2020, we had almost 1,000 people who participated in our senior ride. This is the number of universities that took part in that. We have also prepared promotional materials. We don't promote only Rabka location, only the event, but also we prepare logos. As you can see here, we try to combine these logos as a symbol. It's just kind of like Olympic symbol. And another promotional material are invitations, posters, cards, and another example. Because of the 5th anniversary, we also had a bulletin issued, and we also fought with COVID-19 and prepared such a card, which was online senior ride, and the torch was lit by our mayor, the vice starosta, and organizers, and this is the medal that was given to everyone, actually. So I would like to invite you to the 10th anniversary, the 10th event. We know the date, which is 28th of February 2023, after the winter break. And on this website, you can also find more information, complex information about our event. And just postscriptum, please, just a few seconds. Why I took that? Why did I undertake it? Because I have been an organizer of Integrational Spartakia among children and teenagers under the patronage of Roberta Korzeniowski, who is the Olympic master, and he used to be treated in Rabka, and he got healed there. So that's why I'm here. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much to the participants of this part of the panel. And I believe that was very interesting for us to see how, in practice, you can organize such massive event, and so many people that come to such an event, to take part in so many disciplines, sport discipline. And now feel invited to a break and to lunch, actually. And let's meet here at